days 55 to 56, Olympic National Park. So I didn't realize that Washington State does not end with Seattle. It has a huge peninsula going out west, and most of it is taken up by Olympic National Park. And to get there, you drive on Highway 101, which is a little road that branches off north from I-5 interstate. And unlike the monstrosity of 5 and 6 lanes down in Silicon Valley and in LA, it is one lane in each direction with no divider and no shoulders, and the speed limit most places is 30 miles an hour because the curves are very tight. So you drive it along Vancouver Island, actually. And it's very funny because you hear Canadian radio stations and your phone thinks you're in Canada, but there's no way you can get there. Just like in Glacier, there is no road that crosses the park. So to get anywhere in the park, it's at least 2.5 hours drive. And the first thing I wanted to do was go up Hurricane Ridge because it's supposed to have amazing views. But it was foggy, so I wouldn't have been able to see anything anyway. And so I continued west, and I parked and camped at the beautiful Lake Azette campground. And there I shared a campfire with a guy who just got his PhD in applied mathematics. And I was incredibly proud of myself that I was not completely lost when he explained to me what his thesis was on. Day 56 was jam-packed, and I started it by fulfilling one of the must-do things on my list. I hiked 3-something miles each way to Camp Alawa, which is the westernmost point in the contiguous 48 states. Now, there is a widespread confusion that it's not Cape Alawa, it's something called Cape Flattery. But Cape Flattery is actually the northwesternmost point in the contiguous 48. And anyway, I would not have been able to get there because it's on an Indian reservation and it was closed because of COVID. So I hiked through a beautiful forest and I got to the end of the trail and the end of the continent. And I took a few pictures with my tripod and I shared lunch with this beautiful bird. There is no sign that says that this is the westernmost point. So what I did was just take a few screenshots on my phone and my location on Google Maps so that I can prove that I was actually there. And then I hiked back to my car and got on the road to my next stop, which is 2.5 hours drive away, the whole rainforest. And again, you pass by Vancouver Island and then you get into the rainforest, and it's a high latitude rainforest. It's not like the Amazon, but it is incredibly beautiful. It just looks like something taken out of a fairy tale, like the fairy tales about the Sleeping Beauty. This is what the forest looks like. You walk around and the colors and the air and the quiet and the moss hanging from the trees, it is pure and simple, incredible. Driving out of the forest, I saw this weird-looking pavilion with flags of Russia and America, and I was like, I need to check this out. This sounds interesting. So I stop and I go to see the exhibits, and my mind is completely blown. So the year is 1808. Alaska is still Russian, and they have the grand ambition of colonizing all down the west coast of the American continent and expanding into Hawaii. So a ship called the St. Nikolai sets out from Sitka, Alaska, to go to Oregon. And as they're passing Cape Alawa, they are caught in a tremendous storm, and the ship runs aground in the shallow waters and the cliffs around the cape. And the crew makes their escape onto the beach, where they are surrounded by the local Indian tribe. And there is a fight, and the Indians take hostage a few sailors and the captain's beautiful 18-year-old wife, Anna. And for months, they're playing cat and mouse. Sometimes they let them see each other, and sometimes they don't. And Anna claims that she is being treated well. And at some point, she even refuses to leave the tribe and come back to the Russians. And eventually, she dies, she gets a tribal burial, and very soon after, her husband succumbs to consumption. And that's the crazy story of the St. Nikolai and Cape Alawa and the Russian failed ambitions of colonizing down the west coast. And then another drive through the beautiful forests of Olympic National Park towards the southwestern edge, Ruby Ridge, where I got to see one of the most amazing sunsets. So this is pretty much sums up Olympic National Park, which was amazing. I highly, highly recommend it. It has everything: mountains, lakes, seas, forests. It has the high latitude rainforest. So if you're ever in Washington State, this is an absolute must. So here's a little more of the park. Enjoy.